straight off. Let me take a look at what do you got. I'm moving to the speculation station a lot. Speculation station.
Hello, and welcome to the Speculation Station podcast.
Hello, welcome to Speculation Station podcast.
And in Speculation Station, what do? We take a mysterious object. Mysterical object. Okay.
I like mysterical.
We take a mysterical object and use that object to tell a
mysterical story.
And we have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I'm Will.
I'm Tom.
You're today's
interrogator. So I sort of probe, ask questions, push the story along.
I'm the speculator, so I'll kind of do something similar, but at your behest.
Yeah, make up shit is his main job. But it doesn't really matter. We just use it, we have fun, we tell a story together, and we have a little bit of whiskey while we're at it.
Because why not?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to close my eyes in preparation for the object.
Yes.
Where would you like my hands?
I'd like your hands open.
Open.
Together. Maybe even one on top of the other if you're really feeling it.
This is unorthodox.
Okay.
Here I come.
Maybe temperature will be your first thought.
Oh, I'm kind of scared. What? Okay, it's a form of dice.
You're quite right.
Right.
How many sides would you say it had?
See if I can count blind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, really? 7 sides?
No,
8.
No, you're missing sides.
10.
No.
12-sided dice?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't have enough fingers to cover all the sides. Well done, Will.
A nice chunky dice.
Oh, look at that. What sound does it make as it rattles across the table? Look, that's a great sound.
And you rolled a 6. A 9.
And I rolled it without it going off the edge of the table.
Which is impressive.
Like a pro.
So, what shape would you call each face?
I'd call it pentagonal.
Yeah, pentagonal face. So, do you know the name of this shape of object?
Dodecahedron.
You got it.
Okay, that was a guess, but a good guess nonetheless.
Yeah, it is a dodecahedron. It's the 20-sided one I can never remember.
A dodecatentron.
Yeah, it's something very similar,
Okay.
but it's not. Anyway, where does this take your mind?
Chance. Fate. Fortune.
Okay.
Decisions. The role of the game of gods.
Okay, the role of the game of gods.
Don't poke too far into that sentence. I know what I went when I started, and by the end I was quite lost.
I'm glad to hear it. So, this makes me immediately think of perhaps a kind of gambling tale.
Love it.
Right?
Gambling's interesting.
So either we go from the angle where we've got a professional gambler who's, down on his luck, or we have somebody who has to do some incredible gambling who's not a gambler.
Ooh, I like a kind of gambling heist.
Yes.
With someone who's not a gambler, right?
Yes, a gambling heist. I'm writing that down immediately.
That makes it permanent.
Gambling heist. Excellent. Okay, so what the hell might you need to steal or do or achieve via gambling?
Lots of money.
Yeah, lots of money, but maybe the money is the distraction.
Yeah.
And it's more about getting into the casino or the place where
Where is it being held exactly?
Yeah. Because they want them to open the vaults to give the prize money so they can get the other secret
Something
things.
else is in the vault. Love where this is going. Okay. I like something you mentioned briefly earlier, which is that it's not a professional gambler.
Yeah.
So maybe it's someone who wants the object, whatever's in the vault, and who knows they have to become a gambler in order to kind of get it, right?
Okay.
Do they need to win in order to get access to the vault? Do they need to kind of just take part? I guess they kind of need to win.
I think they need to win, right?
Because the tradition is that the winner is taken for a photo session in the vault with their winnings, right?
So some kind of gambling challenge potentially in a vault.
Yes.
So what the hell kind of gambling is going to open up some kind of mysterious vault? So maybe it's a kind of private game of some variety.
Oh, a really, really high stakes private game.
Super high stakes private game. And when they open the vaults where something else is, where this heister wants to get into. So let's talk about who holds private games and then what stuff they might have that people want to steal.
Incredibly wealthy tycoons.
Okay, wealthy tycoons.
I don't think I need to say wealthy, because there are very few poor tycoons, right? A down on his luck tycoon.
A tycoon.
A tycoon.
Yeah.
I also think of Saudi royalty, people with so much money and time and power that they can do whatever they want. But also we could go a little bit more cartoonish, and it's a kind of a guild of elite gamblers. Okay,
so a guild, maybe, but they're not gamblers, but they gamble as a way of coming together. So it's some other kind of guild. So perhaps a guild of businessmen, or a guild of some calamitous evilness, you know?
Like a guild of calamitous intent,
one might say. That's perhaps what I was searching for.
Good term.
I wonder...
What about, maybe they have... I don't know, nefarious aims, and they cover it up with their own, tournaments and gambling. Or it could just be simpler, I
think it's just the way they meet up by gambling, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they have some... I mean, it depends what angle we want to go. Do they have some kind of secret artifact?
Yeah,
from the Indiana Jones style.
What's the MacGuffins, right?
So what is the MacGuffin?
I think it's going to be something more earthly.
Yeah.
Something more personal. Something more powerful as well.
Oh, so somebody may have paid the heistier to...
heistier?
Yeah.
The heistie? The heister? Yes, the heister.
No, heistier as an engineer.
Stop saying heistier. God damn you. So someone hired this guy. Or gal.
Or gal. Maybe gal. And they hired them to steal an object they needed that's personal to them. Right?
So the heister is actually just a kind of almost a pawn in the game, really?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh, right. So maybe that would make them more of probably a professional gambler.
Yeah.
Someone who can get into this tournament. But how would you get into the world's most elite exclusive gambling tournament?
Exactly. You've got to build up
for the world's wealthiest.
So you've got to gamble in other tournaments to get there.
No, I think you've got to make yourself look like the kind of person who's welcome there. Like, it's nothing to do with the gambling as much as it is to do with who are you? Are you the fifth son of the Sultan of wherever? Are you, the heir to the Boston's my fortune? Yeah. And Dubai's a great setting for it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. So, we need a protagonist, our heister. What's their motivation?
Their motivation, I think, is very simple.
Yeah.
It's their job. They've been paid to do it. At the beginning of the story, that's what it should be. It might get more complex as we go, but I think it's very simple, like a policeman had been assigned to the job.
So how about the idea is then, for them at least, the way they see it is, their prize is, if you win the tournament, I'm paying you to win the tournament. Therefore, you win the prize winnings and my payment to you.
Yeah. So they've got a big... and this person is obviously... this gambler has deeper motivations.
Yeah.
So, right, why are they happy going around doing illegal, crazy gambling?
High stakes gambling, yeah.
So, why is this person happy with this?
They lost their brother in a freak gambling accident.
No.
And they have to
they've obviously got something wrong in their life where they're running away, maybe.
Running away from something, love it, yeah.
And maybe they don't have an identity. Right?
I am seeing a woman here, by the way.
Yeah, I am
professional
too.
Female gambler.
So why is she on the run? Or not necessarily on the run, but hiding from her life
what is she running from?
Yeah.
Metaphorically or literally?
I'm saying she's French.
Okay, so French professional gambler running from something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, her dad's a famous politician.
I was thinking maybe she spent time as a hardcore member of a white nationalist movement.
Right.
And she kind of realised her mistake, or at least she thought it was going too far and she had to quit, and now she's running from that past.
Some kind of terrorist movement I like.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, domestic terrorism. Right?
Yeah, some kind of... She was involved, maybe not directly in the actual violence, but she
was in the organisation.
She ran the money because I imagine professional gamblers are good with statistics and shit like that.
And numbers, yeah.
Yeah, she did the numbers for them, right? Yeah.
She ran the numbers for a domestic terrorist group in Europe,
and is basically on the run because they haven't caught her yet, but they're on the way to catch her. So
we need a name.
On the run.
I'm thinking something French and feminine, like Emmeline. What's some other French ladies' names? We should surely know these.
Emmeline.
We can't just keep saying Emmeline.
Jacqueline.
Emile is a man. Damn. I mean, Jacqueline I quite like, though.
Okay,
it's the only one we've got that's
Jacqueline.
Worthy. Jacqueline du something. Jacqueline du Morier.
I don't like Le Morte.
The Morte. That's like Jacqueline of Death.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jacqueline Du Mort.
Wait, it's not got the accent.
No, just Mort.
Yeah, Mort. Jacqueline Du Mort.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she ran the numbers for a domestic terrorist group, and she's kind of leaving that past behind and trying to, stay as far away from it geographically and, metaphorically as possible.
Yes.
Where is she when the story starts? What's she doing? Obviously, someone's going to come and... Not in France, yeah. Got to be gambling somewhere exotic. Maybe Monte Carlo.
I like Monte Carlo, that's fun.
Right,
yeah.
I mean, maybe she's counting cards in a Monte Carlo casino and and security are collaring her.
Yeah, and I can imagine she's like in a Monte Carlo casino hotel sort of.
Here's an idea. Okay. Monte Carlo casino / hotel. Maybe the Grand Prix is in town. It always is in stories when Monte Carlo's involved.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And just to give it some background, some extra noise. She is caught by the casino running, counting cards, which is not per se illegal, but it's obviously not happy making for casinos.
They just kick them out usually.
No, but that's not what happens here.
Hey.
It's Monte Carlo. They take things very seriously, so they take her into a back room.
And that's
where they're gonna and rather than so they take her in there, and they leave her for maybe an hour or so, and the next person who comes in is not someone of the hotel. It's a representative of this person who's setting the wheels in motion.
By the way, I'm seeing like a very small, maybe Chinese banker, right?
I like that,
just like with little glasses.
Good morning, Miss Jacqueline.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And who's the person behind all this? Who's going to employ her? Who do we decide that? Presumably going to be the antagonist, someone who she'll have to fight against eventually.
No, I think this person's a shadowy figure. I wouldn't call that the antagonist.
Okay, fair enough.
More of an active figure.
Thank you. Okay.
So I'm going to call this the person who she meets as Gerald Wu.
Gerald Wu, little bespectacled Chinese banker.
Yeah, and just comes to her in here and he sits down and how does so in fact could you be Jacqueline for a moment?
Yes, I'll wear.
So let's talk about Jacqueline. So tell me a little bit about. How would Jacqueline feel in this circumstance? When she's been locked in a room for an hour, what do you think's happening?
Well, for Jacqueline to be locked anywhere is like a death sentence.
Oh, she's a free spirit.
Well, not just a free spirit, but she is trying to escape this past life. So being locked up is a way of saying you may be made to answer for this
what's in her
crime.
mind? She's thinking about her past crimes.
Is she maybe made to answer for them? Maybe she'll be deported. She'll be reported to the authorities.
Yes. And when Gerald Wu comes in, he mentions, okay, he can hide her past.
He's a bit sketchy about it, so she's not sure.
Yeah, because I'll represent, even in his French Chinese accent.
You're French Chinese, I love it. No, Gerald Wu is just hello,
My employer. My employer
has means to remove such troubling
past. He can remove
past.
any problems and any past. We can even change your face.
We just need one thing from you, Miss Du Mort. Right?
Yeah, Du Mort.
Du Mort, yes. Okay. So, how does she feel about the proposal? And how much does Gerald Wu give away? How much does he tell her?
Actually, she's like, no, immediately. That's my immediate thing. She's like, no way, this is crazy. She's, the refusal of the call.
Of course, classic hero journey.
But basically, until and it could just be a very brief one, and then he says, yes, Jacqueline, it is $1 billion.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe, like we were talking about in terms of that eradication of her past and all her...
We'll set you up as a princess in blah, blah, blah.
That's what gets us, not the money. It's a case of like, not only will you have the money, but then we'll set you up in a new life with all that money.
And an awesome new life. So what is the new life they offer?
Yeah, that's great. Yes, my employer can offer you a new life as, a billionaire mining heiress in... Australia.
In Australia? No. South Africa.
Love it.
There's lots of diamonds there.
Lots of mineral wealth, indeed. Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
You would change your name to Sandra Bernhardt.
Okay, so it's the offer of the life of Sandra Bernhardt.
Yes, a South African diamond billionaire heiress, yes.
And you will get every possible desire. All the past will disappear. You'll have a different face.
Yes, my employer just asks one thing of you, to win the tournament, but also to go into the vault afterwards and probably steal something for us, right?
Steal a secret document. It's incriminating documents on the employer.
Love that. Documents always interesting.
It might turn out to be a secret white nationalist related to this terrorist incident. Right?
That's always good if it relates back to something of her own life, okay? But we'll tackle that as we come later on. Okay.
If it matters.
Let's move the story onwards.
Okay.
You're in charge.
So, very simple. We've got this is essentially the inciting incident.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to take us to the next step. So, what's she gonna say to this? I assume she's gonna say yes.
Oh, she has to say eventually.
Yeah. So, what's her first action? So I think we're going right there, right? We're going right. We might as well arrive at the location. Where's the gambling?
Hang on. There is something that needs to happen first. And maybe we need to steal the Sandra Bernhardt idea, because she needs to be a somebody in order to be eligible to enter the tournament, right?
So it should probably. It can't be Sandra Bernhardt. It has to be.
You will become.
I think she's got to be. I honestly think it's got to be like a princess of like a small Austrian kingdom or something like that.
Or maybe that, or someone who's like 571st in line for the British throne. One of many minor British royals.
But she's a French person.
That's okay. Our royalty is a mix of.
That's a really good point. So she's 571st
in line to the throne. That's what they're claiming
for the throne.
And her cover name is, and you need to kind of work some French into the name, so it's obvious that she's French, but also British royalty.
So maybe
Lady Samantha. No, the first name should be French. And then the title surname should be British, right? Lady Marie. And then like some place in the UK, like Lady Marie of Suffolk.
Of Davenport.
Lady Marie of Davenport, yes, love it. Okay.
Yeah. Marie of Davenport.
Yeah. You're old money, old aristocracy.
Yeah. And so we will cover. We've got and they maybe introduce a character at this point who's going to be her uncle or be her.
Oh, is that her watcher, her minder?
Yeah, her minder.
And that's good because that gives conflict. So she can have some fun like shopping, new clothes, new identity, but this horrible figure is looming over her.
Yeah, and maybe they get to know. So who is this watcher? Is it like a mother, an uncle, a pretend mother, a pretend uncle?
I love the idea of a pretend mother.
Okay.
Because the idea of a kind of gruesome matriarch is interesting.
Yeah. So.
Kind of maybe a duchess, the Duchess Davenport.
Yes.
Who is her pretend mother, but it's actually some kind of British she's an ex-British spy. Who now sells herself to the highest bidder for any old work.
Yeah, and just basically gets whatever she wants.
This girl.
Yeah. And is basically professional and super loyal to the secret employer.
Okay.
Yeah, right. At least.
So let's think of an early scene then when she's maybe out being fitted for a new set of dresses, right. Maybe gadgets for the tournament. Yeah. Goal, conflict, disaster. Especially involving this pretend duchess who's watching over her, right? So let's get a scene where we can get those things in.
So, let's just have the training scene because that's
no. Let's say she's in maybe a very posh Parisian shopping street. Although she wouldn't want to go back to France. So
no,
Oxford Street in London.
Yes, yeah, right? Of course, yeah.
Buying new clothes. The goal is to get herself kitted out for the tournament. Get ready for that and become Lady Marie Davenport.
Do you know what this is then? This is the Pygmalion bit of the story.
Becoming kind of more...
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Yeah. So basically, it's these are the ways you're going to have to behave.
Okay.
These are the things you're going to have to say.
Conflict is she's not used to behaving like that?
No, she's not. She just goes and does what she wants. She's probably quite rough around... Yes, she's French, so a natural class just sort of comes along with being French.
Okay.
But, at least to English speakers.
But okay, we need a hefty disaster then.
Also, and I think so. I don't know whether. So I think the conflict is very much like she's crap at it. She's really bad at doing so she's really good at gambling, but she's not a good bluffer.
Yeah.
Right. She's really bad at acting, that kind of thing. So she's not. Not good.
Which is weird for a gambler.
Bluffing's not the right word, but not good at. High society, let's say.
Okay, a kind of putting on airs and graces.
So not good at that side of things, but she's good at the game of bluffering and
Of course, that should come naturally to her.
Of course. So, so doesn't really know the world of high society, but has obviously had to deal with high society people, but she's always dealt with them as herself, never as anybody else.
Okay.
So that's the conflict, and so maybe Maybe the disaster. I think the disaster doesn't have to be a big explosion. I think the disaster
no, just something which says it's not going to be that easy.
Yeah,
and there are some things you didn't consider that are going to be in your way.
What might go wrong for Jacqueline with this lady Marie, who she never knows the name of? My name is like code 176.
You will call me 176, yeah.
Or Mary Davenport. Yes. You'll never know my true name.
Or Mother.
Mother, yeah, simply Mother.
Yes, I am code 176, and you should call me Mother.
She does speak, in a very...
Like Ills.
She, yes, puts it on, and tits and teeth, very much.
Tits and teeth, yes. Yes, with ears instead of yes.
Eels.
What are you doing?
Shah-ta. And pa. Can you pa the Shah in your tar?
I don't say words properly because apparently I'm well educated.
I'm so posh.
I'm so posh I don't even speak the language properly.
I'm physically impaired because of my poshness.
That's exactly it, yeah. I mean, they'd have physical deformities from inbreeding, so why not?
Yep, and also it comes through in their language. Well done. Thank you, the Queen. Okay.
So maybe the disaster is something as simple as she realises that she's getting herself into something beyond her comfort zone.
I think it's even. I think it's an absolute falling out between the two of them. They just they cannot stand each other.
Good,
right.
Nice.
So
you're gonna have to spend like weeks with this lady.
So what does this lady do, or what does she do that really passes? What one of them's got to piss off the other.
Okay, something human.
Simple, yeah.
So after a day of shopping and preening and what have you, and mani-pedis to get her looking the part, back to the hotel where they're staying. Yeah. Maybe they're in Dubai by this time, in preparation for the tournament, right?
Dubai,
so they're shopping in Dubai, back to the Dubai hotel, maybe in the, what's it, Burj Al Arab, or the Burj Khalifa, it's like one of the world's tallest buildings, right? It's a hotel and all that.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Go back there. Maybe she's in the hotel bar, which is a favourite scene location of ours, apparently.
Yeah.
And she is chatting up a man or being chatted up by a man.
It's got to be like a low-level prince.
I like that,
right?
Yeah.
But it's like an Arabian prince. Maybe from Dubai, or maybe a Qatarian prince.
Love that. Yeah, one of the UAE
I'm going to go with Qatar because it's nearby. Right, but it's not Dubai.
Wealthy.
So
yes,
okay. So Qatar prince.
So she's working her magic with this prince when 176, the lady, Duchess Davenport, comes along and just like nope, and almost physically yanks her away.
Well, this guy cannot be trusted,
Yeah, and you're not to fraternise with anyone. I don't tell you to.
Yeah.
And she just basically locks her up in her room.
But this guy, this guy is known, right?
Oh.
And this guy might reveal who you are, that kind of thing. Because, he has some knowledge, that kind of thing. I think it's got to be a little bit more. You're doing your job terribly.
So Duchess Davenport whisks her away, locks her in a room.
The Qatarian prince. Who's this untrustworthy Qatarian prince?
Okay.
Yes, I imagine with a small moustache and beard, maybe.
Mashak ibn al-Fazad.
Mashak ibn
al-Fazad.
Al-Fazad. And he's a real smooth one, right?
Yeah, real smooth. Yeah. Quite westernised.
Yeah, I'd say westernised and very young, right?
Yeah, because Dubai's a real weird
I'd say
mix.
20s. Has had a Western education, as you say.
Oh, because they often do. Yes, love it.
And he's got, maybe he's just got like I can imagine him like having sort of piercing, like colourful eyes. Very sort of like intense eyes. So like stares at people intensely, like he's looking into your soul.
And maybe because I know that Saudi princes for some reason have a big affinity with hawking, so maybe he always has like a hawk on his arm.
Yes.
Even in the hotel, he's allowed to carry his hawk.
Because he is. He's a Qatarian prince.
Yes. Would you like my hawk to do a trick for you? He will fetch you a cocktail olive.
And he brings yes, and she's getting kind of wowed by this. She's like, "This is the society I'm getting let into."
Yeah,
Holy
maybe this
fuck.
isn't so bad, right?
Yes.
And then Duchess comes and ruins it for her. No, back to your room. Yeah. Oh no, she's posh English. No, my dear.
We're not here for these purposes.
For these peripheries.
We have family matters to attend to.
You will accompany me kindly to our room, young lady. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, so...
And it's set to a darker tone. Okay, so actually I'm actually being controlled.
And basically a suspicious figure of Mazak Ibn al-Fasad.
Mashak ibn al-Fasad.
Yeah, so he's a very interesting figure, and we'll come back to later.
Okay.
And he's probably going to involve in some kind of unveiling of her disguise.
I like the idea, actually... I don't want to give away too much, but it's whatever. It's our story. That he's actually like Saudi intelligence service. He's like essentially a Saudi intelligence agent who's actually a good guy, and he's tracking all of these dodgy people, their plans to heist and whatever, and maybe he's even trying to get an in to this secret gambling tournament as well.
Yes.
So he's actually a good guy, but we don't know that for now.
Yes, but he seems very suspicious. Yeah.
Okay.
So, the next point is she's going to go to some kind of meeting or some kind of event where she's going to get access, or she's going to attempt access.
Yeah.
Or accept to speak to the person who's going to give her access to this game.
Okay. That's a good point. Yes, yeah, that's a really good point. We need to have that scene.
She needs an in. So is the in? I don't think it's the Qataran Prince. I think the Qataran Prince is like a wild card figure.
Sure.
Who comes back in a different time.
Okay.
So
I think we need a great location for this meeting to happen. First of all, now Dubai is replete with great locations. You might be familiar with their Palm Island.
I was just going to say, but did you know they have the world? The
world as well.
So
let's do it in the world.
Yeah. So which part of the world?
France.
France,
but because of course for her it's like, wait, do they know? Is someone making fun of me, or is it coincidence? So either way, it makes her nervous to be somewhat back in France.
To the world islands.
Yeah, specifically France.
World islands, yeah, France to a chalet on there or something.
I like that. Yes, a mock chalet on this hot Dubai island. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
and that's where they're having a meeting. Who's there? Going to be a who's who of elite, secret gamblers, right? Let's think of some nationalities. A Swiss banker.
I'm immediately with the Swiss because Swiss are kind of often sort of like help people out with secret passports and money, right?
Yeah. Maybe a Swiss lawyer.
Or from Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Where the quiet money goes.
Yes. What's the capital of Luxembourg?
I have no fucking idea.
Luxembourg.
Okay. So yeah, I like this. So meets.
It's technically Luxembourg City, but it's often referred to as Luxembourg.
Garvald.
Mavinga. No, not Mavinga. That's not very Luxembourg.
No, that's not at all though.
Think more, German, Belgian kind of thing. What was the first name?
Garvald
Schlossstein.
I'm going to go with Scholz.
Oh, Scholz is better than Schloss.
Scholzsteiner, yeah. Yeah. Garvald Scholzsteiner.
Hello, I'm from Luxembourg. I'm Garvald Scholzsteiner.
Yes, if you really want to hide money, ignore the Swiss.
Yeah, you must trust.
Because everyone thinks of the Swiss, but nobody thinks of Luxembourg.
What's the demonym for people from Luxembourg?
Luxembourgian. Luxemburger.
That's probably
Luxemburger sounds good. So.
At least in Anglo sense. Yeah. Okay. So you must trust the Luxembourgers, not the Swiss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to this tournament before?
Is she going to fake and say yes? No.
No, of course not. Oh no, I'm new to this tournament.
Yes, but I have great royal money behind me.
Yeah, I like that. She says that in a more subtle way.
And she passes across some amulet or some thing of state that of course Mother has given her, the Marie of Davenport has given her.
I like that, yeah.
Some kind of thing of state to prove it.
Well, she has to bring that along anyway for the actual organisers, but she shows it to him as well.
Do you know, I know it's slightly irrelevant, but the Mongols, in order to prove that you were really of the Khan, you had these big sort of metal plates to prove, and you show to other people so they know that you had the word of the Khan behind you. I like that,
yeah.
So she basically gives off something like that to show.
It's like her deed. It's like A Knight's Tale where he has to show his patents of nobility, right?
That's exactly it. She's showing her patents of nobility.
I like the idea that Garvald purports to be a kind of wants to be an ally of hers. Like, you're new to this, let me help you. But it actually turns out to be in for his own. Either it could be something simple as he just wants to bed her, and it's for his own aims. Or, he's trying to swindle her, trying to make her feel, at a loss.
So why does Garvald want her in? Because I think he's thinking rich. So
yes, exactly.
Rich,
so her money.
Rich, foolish.
I can bed her and then take her money and leave her be.
Yeah. She won't be good at gambling.
Yeah. So for now, at least, he does act as a kind of an in for the fish out of water. It's like, we do this, so we go here, we meet here traditionally. The first tournament is on a Friday. You are expected to bring this money. I think
it's just one tournament, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's one event. This almost happens on over a few days. This whole story.
That's a great idea. Yes.
Right. So I think basically they get the in and they're taken to a totally secret, exclusive hotel or
why not the top of the Burj Al Arab? You know,
no,
the
that's
tallest
too
building.
obvious.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Totally secret.
Maybe so like Vegas, Dubai has a lot of tourist activities out beyond the city in the desert, right? So it's in the desert somewhere.
I love it. Yeah. So like.
You could go classic. I can't remember the term for it. Is you know when they make the collection of tents and rugs and you kind of make it all nice and cool and cushions. You could do that, or you could go something for far more interesting and have it like there's a secret building out buried in the desert or in the middle of the desert.
I like the fact it's like some ancient building that they've co-opted.
An ancient Arab fort or something.
Or tomb, this big
love that. A tomb's interesting, very foreboding. Okay.
Yeah, they've converted.
You kind of walk into the tomb, it's all ruined, and then you kind of go down into it below the ground, right?
Below the ground, there's just this sweet underground, like spy base, almost.
/ kind of luxury casino hotel.
Yeah, with tables that rise out of the ground.
Who runs this? Who runs this whole thing and why?
Yeah, well, she's going to be introduced to the person who runs the game now, right? So
okay, great.
There's this person. I feel it should be somebody from Dubai.
Yes, an Arab. Yeah, absolutely, another Arab. I guess you could go kind of as little contrived and go like oil billionaire.
Yeah, it's going to be like a oil trillionaire.
Trillionaire, love it. Also, because Dubai
secret trillionaire.
Because Dubai was primarily a fishing village before it became this massive, tourist and oil city. Maybe his family were poor fishers, and then when Dubai came up as this massive city, he came up with it as well.
Yeah.
So he's quite a sympathetic guy. I could probably actually quite like him.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
And this person is essentially just runs the whole game. Doesn't take part in the game.
It's just his tournament. Yes.
Yeah, he takes it very seriously, and he just likes having that. Why would you have the rich and wealthy here? Maybe he runs the tournament for charity, right?
Yeah.
That's his sort of aim. It's called his charity banquet.
Yes. What better way to get rich people to give up their money than to make them give it willingly in the game? That's not my Arab accent. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We need a name for him. Razep, Mohammed.
Mohammed. Mohammed, yeah.
Yes, Razep Mohammed. Zoaz, I love it, yeah.
Nice and simple last
yes.
name.
Okay.
Razep Mohammed Zoaz.
Okay, so she meets him at last. Where? At this place?
I think he's basically welcomes her in. And
is this where they're at this chalet on?
Yes,
France?
because the other person brought him in.
Gal.
Garvard Scholstein.
Yeah, Scholsteiner.
Basically got them the inn, yeah.
Oh, right.
And basically gave them the secret handshake or whatever needed to get into this place, and the location, which you'd never know if you didn't know.
If you didn't know, yes.
So Raza, and is obviously so he welcomes into this secret underground club for this great event.
Yes, where the vault is, of course.
Where the vault is, yeah, and he gives her a tour, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they see the vault, where she's got to steal these secret incriminating documents.
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
So he sees the vault and he shows off the vault. They sort of walk past and she sort of asks a subtle question.
Well, let's have a little goal, conflict, disaster recce then. Goal to
get information
to have a recon of the vault, right?
Have a recon of the vault, or how it's opened, who has the key, something like that.
Yeah, well, no, she knows that.
Or is he going to come in and go, check out my sweet vault with artifacts from across the world in it?
Yeah, okay.
And you might win one of these. Okay,
yes, so
it has stuff from Egypt. It has stuff from China,
British artifacts.
Some of one of the terracotta soldiers.
And maybe there's a massive slab of stone that's got cave painting on it. That's been like the earliest cave painting from France, which are the earliest cave paintings,
I know
right?
which ones you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's actually got those in this vault as well. So maybe that kind of confuses her and puts her mind on a different tack for a while as well. What is the conflict standing in her way of doing this?
Well, obviously...
The fear of being caught,
absolutely.
being uncovered.
Yeah, and also, how is she going to get into the vault again? So really, what she wants to find... What's in her way?
I thought they get in when they win.
Yeah, they get in when they... That's a good point.
The winner has a photo taken in there with their prize,
with their prize from the vault.
She has to win. Has to win, yeah.
And somehow steal the documents at the same time, which is interesting.
But that's why she's having a recce now to see how she would steal. Would you Would you show me inside?
Basically, the conflict. She's trying to ask probing questions about where these documents might be, without actually directly asking.
Or what's in the vault? How do you have a lot of lockboxes, or is everything just out in the open?
Is it just artifacts, or is it documents as well?
Yeah, jewels, documents. Yeah. Documents specifically. Am I doing a good job as a spy?
And Razep just jokes and doesn't really answer her question.
Very evasive.
All
I can say is he plays of great treasures.
But she thinks she notices a document or something like that.
Does she get into the vault? Does he let her in?
I think he shows her very briefly.
He's trying to impress her. Yeah. Come inside, my ward.
Because he's just not worried about anything.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's a trillionaire.
And there are armed guards everywhere, by the way.
What would worry a trillionaire?
Yeah.
Nothing, pretty much.
Apart from losing
your trillions and getting murdered. But then you've got the greatest security in the world, right?
Yeah, but also more people want to kill you and steal your stuff if you're a trillionaire.
It's true.
Yeah, so that's exquisite security concerns.
What's the disaster?
Well,
what goes wrong?
I think he catches her. Very small disaster again.
I
think he catches her looking at something too curiously, right? Or maybe she's too obvious when she's talking about the documents. She says, maybe it's even subtler than that. Maybe she breaks her character just a touch, right? And she says, I was educated in Britain.
Yeah.
They don't speak like that. So again, I've never heard
some contradictory thing she says. Yes, I was born in France, I was raised there, but I had my education in the UK, is why I sound French. And then later on she says something about, when I was living in France last year, it's like, I thought you were living in the UK,
Yes, I remember you said you lived in the UK.
Oh, I spent a year in France last year. She tries to get out of it, but yes, there's that small disaster
and there's a shared look between them.
Yes,
right?
have I blown my cover? Yeah, is he on to me?
I think next they're taken into probably yet another bar or restaurant.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, the gambler's banquet.
The gambler's banquet, why not?
Yeah.
And the Qatarian prince is among them.
Oh, this what was
mysterious
his name? Mazak Ibn
Fazad.
Fazad, yes, okay. Of course. It's a good name.
Yeah.
Okay, why is he there?
Well, we don't know.
Ah, excellent. Where is he then? Is he like, they're all sitting at a long table having food. He's sitting in a bar, or he's chatting to the organizer or something?
Yeah, he's just there, and he's dressed differently, right? It's almost like he's in disguise, and they both clock each other.
Yeah.
And they but neither acknowledges the others.
Or maybe she knows. Yeah, he looks at her, but he's actually talking to
Razep.
Razep, yes, and they both talk and then look at her as she looks at them. So she's like, "Oh shit, why are they looking? Why are they talking?
Yeah. Right?
Because she doesn't know is, of course, that they know and they're helping. They want to know. They want to get to the bottom of this.
She thinks Mazak might be working for Mazuk might be working for Razep, okay?
Yes.
And trying to catch her out, basically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then she'll be, uncovered and killed or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Her employers will leave her out to dry, yeah, okay. This big banquet scene, so that's actually pretty clear, actually. Goal is to kind of stay undercover. Conflict is that Mazak's there. Disaster is it looks like they're onto her.
Yeah, basically. So she thinks they're onto her, so she starts to panic a little bit.
What's a sequel to this then?
Well, I think it's just they get a little.
She goes back to her employees and says, "Look, this is crazy, man. They're onto me."
Yeah, she
goes back to the Duchess.
Talks to the Duchess, and they get on the wire to and they sort of go, there's somebody onto me here. He's some kind of suspicious Qatarian prince. Why is this guy following me? Right.
Yeah. So then the Duchess passes that information along, and they start trying to get onto who this guy is. Yeah.
And then I think.
Meanwhile, the first day of the tournament is about to begin, right? It's got to be on the verge of happening.
I think it's got to be happening. I think we have the first day of
the tournament. The day after the banquet, right?
Yeah, so we have the day after the banquet, and then they're gambling, and the Qatarian prince is actually involved in the gambling. Mm-hmm. He's gambling as well. Maybe they're playing blackjack. Let's say it's blackjack to start with. They're playing all the most difficult sports. All the most,
Sports? The sport of poker.
Money sports.
Lovely. Yeah, they're playing the most high stakes, most
crazy. Sports of chance, please.
Sports of chance, fantastic. Yeah, got it.
So
maybe they're playing like incredibly rare forms of poker that are very rarely played because of the risk.
Blackjack, roulette, all those kind of.
Okay, so not just one card
I don't think they should play one. I think they should play maybe they should play like a rare form of blackjack, a rare form of roulette, and a rare form of
I like
poker.
That. Maybe even backgammon's in there because it's a great ancient game.
Why not play backgammon? Yeah,
backgammon for money. Yeah.
So they start with the game backgammon. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's ridiculous. So they start with this complex, and she maybe is a little off because she hasn't played backgammon.
Sure, but it would be a good opportunity for us to see our protagonist using her skill.
That's what I mean. So
right.
just smash it. So she basically beats down some people, and people are a bit worried that she's a bit too good. And then she gets, and then basically the little disaster there after her showing off is Lady Marie's like, you can't show you're good at gambling. You have to kind of show that you're shit.
Yes.
So she actually wins too much in the first game.
Yeah. But she needs to win enough to be the winner.
Yes.
Because I'm guessing the winner is the person who wins the most overall.
But she's got
game.
to seem naive and stuff like that. And she's not. She's seeming like a professional.
She's like blam, 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 super confident, bluffing. Yeah, she's like, you look like if you win, you kind of win more by chance than anything else, right?
But beginner's luck is what you need.
That's it, yes. Oh, I've won again.
Yeah, yes. Oh, silly me.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah,
exactly. So
that's a great way of actually undercutting the positive element where you're like, oh great, she's actually succeeding for once, and then you undercut it by saying, no, fuck you, stop winning so much.
After the first day, okay, obviously she gets drunk, and against Marie's wishes, she vanishes with Mazouk.
I thought she maybe vanished with Gal, what's his face, the Luxembourger.
Galvard,
yeah, because he's the one who's really untrustworthy, but we don't know that. So she thinks he's fine, and she goes off with him, right? That's the danger.
Or perhaps she's in a scene, a triple scene with Gavald and Mazouk.
Oh, that's
where
great.
They're both trying to flirt with her.
Because they're kind of opposites, really. She thinks Mazak's a good guy, bad guy. Well, she's been told Mazak's a bad guy, but he's really good. And she thinks Galvad's a good guy, but he's really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an interesting dynamic, and she's obviously hiding who she is, so it's a nice, interesting triangle of deceit.
Yeah, so, and...
I like the idea they're both flirting with her, so like that competition.
Yes, but obviously Mazouk is far better looking.
Yeah, yes.
Far, far better looking.
Yes.
But she's worried about him.
Yeah.
And scared of him.
And it should be, if you were really writing this scene out as a book or a film, it would play out like the gambling in the earlier scene. It's like a game, What does she say? What does he say? What does the other guy say? How do they go back and forth as a triangle? And
what information, I think is what's important here, is what information is revealed from this scene. This little scene, which is basically, what does she learn? What new exposition is there? Is it, maybe she tries to, like, woo Garvald or woo this guy and it goes wrong in some way.
That's interesting, yeah.
He goes off. Like,
so let's simplify it a bit and get rid of one of them. Well, let's get rid of one of them. So Galvad and Mazak are kind of both ostensibly flirting with her. And she ostensibly chooses Mazak in that instance.
Yes,
and Galvad feels spurned and goes off in a huff. So then she goes, great, I've got Mazak to myself. Let's see if I can get in there. But he rejects her advances suddenly. Once Galvad's gone, he doesn't really play the game at all anymore.
Let's say he's gay.
Okay, simple as that. He's just gay. Yeah.
But they sort of hang out together and have an interesting night together.
But there's got to be some hint he drops about the overall situation. Or he kind of drops a hint about maybe knowing who she really is, which terrifies.
I think that's it. I just said he says her real name at this point.
Yeah. Or no. That's too obvious.
Okay.
Too obvious. I think maybe because she's kind of slipped a little bit in terms of her, the timeline of her past. So maybe, because she's grown up in France and then lives in the UK, she's ostensibly British aristocrat. He says, something like, I can understand why someone in your position doesn't want to go back to France, right? Because she doesn't. She wants to leave that terrorist past behind. So just that simple sentence, I can understand why you want to go back to France. Oh, does he know? Yeah. And that's terrifying.
Yeah, and then it just gives her a misleading signal at the end, it could be a friendship signal, it could be an enemy signal, just the way she looks at it.
She doesn't know, yeah. And then she goes back to her employers.
Well, he gives her like a little parcel or a little letter that he says don't open till the game is over.
Yeah, I like that. Yes, please.
Yeah, so
But she goes back to the Duchess and says, I can't do this, right?
Yeah.
She's telling her employer, I'm getting in too deep. They know I can't do this. So there's got to be some implicit threat from the employer through the Duchess. It's like, you are gonna do this.
Yeah. So maybe she does the whole not knife to the throat, but a kind of basically says we've got members of your family, right? We're gonna reveal this story. We're gonna reveal who you are.
I'd prefer to bring it closer to home.
Okay.
And say, look, we're out in the desert right now. All it takes is for me to tell them who you are. and you'll just be another collection of bones being washed away by the sand in this desert, right?
Yeah, we can do this heist another time with somebody else.
But for you, dead.
Either you do it
or you're dead, right?
Yeah, or we reveal who they are and we disappear. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll be dead, we disappear, and we come back the next year and do it again.
So, and then that takes us into the ordeal.
Love it, yeah.
Which is planning. Basically the main set of gambling. So facing off, I just sense against. So you're down to the sort of a certain few gamblers in the roulette.
That's good. Yes, Galvad's obviously got to be there.
Yeah, Galvad, and obviously Mazouk is there.
Mazak. Yeah.
I do feel like one of those is really the secret baddie.
Galvad.
Yeah. So yeah, and Galvad's back again, and he's maybe a sort of sharp and jealous with her.
So here's a way of trying to tie it back in. I don't see the whole picture, but you can probably help me here. So there are documents in the vault, incriminating documents in the vault, right? That her employers want to get hold of. Galvad being a Luxembourger.
Yeah.
Like the Panama Papers, if you remember, he has so much dirt on so many people, and the documents are relating specifically to something. So there's a weird double conflict or double enemy going on, where not just the employers are obviously enemy, but Galvad's the enemy as well, but they are both enemies as well. Can you help me tidy that up? Secret documents, like Panama Papers, relating to business done.
Yes, that's relating also to her thing. So basically, it's all a complex bankrolling thing. So they are the people who bankroll criminals, terrorist organizations.
Yes.
And she was linked to them in the beginning.
Including the one she belonged to, right?
Including the one she belonged to, right? And so Razep is entirely related. So Razep is the person trying to take this down. Garvald is linked up in it and knew her father, who was
I love that.
Who was who effectively ran some kind of terrorist cell.
Yes.
Something like that.
Okay,
I like that idea, and basically, and Mazouk is the investigator trying to take this down, the international spy trying to take this down.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's very cool. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we just go set the scene.
Yeah,
for
lovely.
For the roulette, which is what I call the ordeal. So, the sort of conflicts. So, who does she think the bad guy is at this point? She believes the bad guy is Mazouk.
Yes, plus her employer.
Yeah, she doesn't trust Mazouk, is what I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely.
So in the game, she's going for Mazouk, but really the bad guy's Garvald,
yeah.
Right? So she trusts Garvald. So in this roulette game, she's like squaring off with
the wrong person.
With the wrong person, basically.
Yeah.
And she discovers at the end that Garvald is on her side, right?
No, against.
So no, that
Marzak is on her side. Yeah.
Yeah, Marzak is on her side. So basically, I feel like we need a really intense gambling game where she loses, right? But she comes like second. She only just loses, her money.
Oh.
And Garvald wins.
Yeah.
And Mazouk takes her aside right at the end and says, "I know you let him win."
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Well, and then maybe gives the reveal and says, "We're on the same side."
And I need you to categorically win.
I can get you out of this.
Yeah.
But only if you win.
And only if we get those things out the vault.
Only if you get those documents, but I don't want you to give them to Garvald. I want you to give them to me.
Yeah.
Okay, because we can do good.
And it's a case of trust, does she believe him or not, right?
Yeah. Does she trust him? Right. And
in which case, then in the final bout, as it were, there's got to be some subtle reason why she then realises that Garvald is not to be trusted.
Well, I think basically, maybe she doesn't believe Mazouk at this point.
Yeah.
And in the bar afterwards, she meets with Garvald and just to piss him off, sleeps with Garvald.
Yes.
Right. And sort of gets in with Garvald, right?
And so she's in a private space with him in maybe his room.
Yeah.
And the morning after, maybe lying in the bed in that kind of dozy state, and she hears him on the phone having a
hint,
a hint of something he's saying exactly. It's like, oh shit, this dude Exactly what Mazak said to me.
Yeah.
Exactly what he was warning me about. Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
And there's also that dirty mistake that she made by sleeping with him, which is a great human thing to do, right?
Yeah. Well, she did it because she thought she was using it as a way of getting control over him and the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't necessarily want to have sex with him. She was just using it.
Yeah, and that takes us nicely towards what I think feels like the climax, right?
This was my exact idea. Okay, cool. Yes. And the final climax is the poker game, right?
Yes,
exactly. The unique form of poker that uses... so it has, let's say... 6 cards arranged in a weird sort of circle where they're sort of connected in an odd way.
And then you kind of can play against a certain quadrant of the circle, whatever.
Yeah, and you can make hands using certain areas of the circle and your 2 cards in hand. So it's kind of like Texas Hold'em, but a kind of spin on Texas Hold'em.
Is it too contrived to suggest that it turns out like her father created this game? You know, he's a famous terrorist gambler.
No, that's terrible. We can't have that.
Okay,
but she can. It'll be still contrived, but just the right level of contrived if she invented this game years ago when she first stood on the gambling circuit, and now it's become a popular big game.
I like that. And also, it gives real credence to what you said earlier, that they in the previous bouts, they play different games, roulette, blackjack, whatever it might be, and maybe other forms of poker, perhaps, or other forms of card games. But now for the finale, it's the game. It's the one she can play.
By the way, it's just the 3 of them now.
Oh, her, Mazak and
Garval. There's nobody else left in the game.
I love that. Right? I love that. Yeah, it's the main players in the game playing the last game. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a weird tension between her and Garval because they just slept together. And she knows the secret that he's... What kind of secret did he reveal? Yeah,
what subtle nod was there?
So like...
He's got to mention the papers, the documents,
mention the papers and killing someone.
Yes.
and yes. The spy. Snurdy.
Yes, let's say that he's like, either I win and I get into that vault myself, or she wins and then I'll kill her for those papers.
Yes. I realise exactly what's to happen in this climax, by the way.
Yeah?
Right. She might... Really, Marzook needs to be killed, so she has to finish his mission. That's what has to happen.
Yeah, it's very sad, but yes.
Yeah, it has to happen, right? They can't be friends. They he has to be killed, unfortunately.
Okay, I think
that's the right decision, because does she win the game? I think she probably does.
She does, yeah. But of course, that's not the issue. The issue is then knowing that when she gets those documents from that vault, if she gets them, people are going to be after
she gets the documents from the vault. Let's just say that happens.
Yes, and now there's Garvald and his possible hidden team after her, and her employer who want those documents as well.
Basically, I think she runs to Marzook and saying, "I don't trust my employer. I want to go with you," but she finds Marzook dead.
Oh, that's wicked. Yeah.
Yeah, and she,
what do
weeps
I do?
over his corpse.
Yeah, realised too late who he was, what he was up to.
And she finds some proof that he was like a policeman spy, sort of,
Yes, the Dubai secret police.
Yeah, something like that.
Saudi intelligence, yeah.
Some force there. And then basically Garvald arrives in the room and goes,
I am the villain.
Yeah, whatever. It just reveals he's the villain. And guys with guns.
In which case then, a good outcome of the climax could be, in the classic sense, that she... Rather than being an aggressive protagonist who can actually, fights physically...
This is not a fighter,
She's a gambler, right? She's a thinker, a bluffer. So she's got to engineer a situation in which both her enemies go against each other. So Garvan and his guys, and the Duchess and her people actually go against each other, and she gets to stay out of it.
She might need to use Razep, the owner of the game.
Yeah, because surely he's in on what Mazak was up to, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Hence they were talking earlier. So all she has to do is, I say all, she uses what was his name?
Oh, she tells
where is he?
Oh, Garvald.
No. The organizer of the game.
Razep.
Razep, yeah. So she talks to Razep, clears things with him. And then they need to find a way of convincing Garvald that her employees have the documents, and convince her employees that Garvald has the documents, and then just fucking leave them to
basically,
it.
And effectively tricks Marie that she's got, and she gives Marie the wrong document, and gives them both the wrong document.
Love that,
and somehow implicates the other, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And then,
but what danger is she in?
Well, danger is in she should be caught, right?
Yeah, okay.
And she's got to escape this situation, and the only ally she's got is Razep.
Yeah.
Okay, but
of course it's his facility, so he probably knows a good way out of there.
So she gets her to take her out of the facility, but suddenly as that happens, he's killed as well, and all his guards have been bribed and owned by Garvald.
Oh dear. Okay. Right. So very desperate.
It's a very desperate
I
run.
like desperation.
And I almost say she has to run out, and she does that sort of like almost like the end of Alien, where she has to grab the guns off them, and it's just her, and then she just walks out into the desert with the documents.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
The end of the movie.
Yeah, and hopefully she'll get back to civilization.
We don't find out.
That's cool.
Right?
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, now we've got to name this sucker.
Yes, this should be a little easier than previous episodes to name, with the gambling, cards,
the
games of chance.
The documents.
Yeah, chance, fate, fortune, lies, deceit. The
Dubai affair.
The Dubai affair is pretty good. A game of lies.
Oh, a game of lies. That's a bit Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but it's also like it sounds like a cheap Bond movie. You know?
Yeah.
Daniel Craig in A Game of Lies.
If we can add just a something to Game of Lies. Or The Game of Lies.
The Game of Lies.
Yeah. It might
it's
be
like the Game of Life, but lies. Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Game of Lies.
Shake hands on it.
And as we always do.
As is tradition.
So, would you lie? Would you gamble in a death-defying, strange, underground, desert-based gambling arena?
That's probably the most specific question you can ask the audience. I would ask a similar question. Do you gamble? Do you play poker? Would you give up everything to secure strange documents?
Yeah. Send us an email, right?
Send us an email.
Yeah,
Fax
send us
us.
at contact@speculationstation.com.
You'll find us in lots of other places.
Yeah,
where
go
Google
to the website,
stick
a comment on the YouTube video if you fancy. Subscribe for more information.
Yeah.
Heck, sign up to our email list. Give us a review on YouTube.
YouTunes? Yes.
iTunes and YouTube, all of those.
Go to youtunes.org. And get a good computer virus for free.
Yes, and maybe you can come up with a strange heist yourself.
Oh, sure. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for objects or stories, let us know.
Yeah, and if you want to develop this story, give us your ideas of what might happen next. Would there be a sequel to this movie?
Could you refine it in some way?
Yeah.
Who would you cast in the movie of this story?
Yes. Would David Warner be involved?
How would he not?
Probably not, but in this movie.
So, we'll see you all next time for a new object and
some more fun.
New story as well, right?
A heck of a new story.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening and spending your precious time for our foolish nonsense.
Have fun and bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Gadget. Go away. And then come back again next time.
Speculation Station.